Where did you find this very intriguing relic? There is so much quality information inside of the Midnight Society book. Warning, the following video has flashing lights and also includes content that may be deemed inappropriate for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. These dark adventures. You have decided to venture into the fox den and awaken me from my slumber, as you and I do have Dogman and werewolf activity to attend to. Yet I have been sleeping for so long. I really do need to feed. Absolutely delicious. I do adore you for bringing me something to revamp my lost nutrients. And now that I have been released from my silver chains and shackles, it is once again time for D's dark adventures. And of course, LordeStarfox to go and collect contracts that are owed to him. My creatures of the night. Yes, once again, you are tuning in to Midnight Lycanthropy here on LordeStarfox Radio. We do have a member of the Midnight Society. Yes, you saw the little promo we had earlier in the week. We have these dark adventures already sitting around the late night fire as we again get ready to burn the midnight timber into the early hours of the morning. I grow tired of waiting on contracts that are owed to me. My friend, are you ready to take a walk into the madness tonight?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Excellent. Well, to the audience, whereas Dee is an extremely busy person with some very great things on the horizon, I thought tonight we would allow her to really take center stage for us. I would love to hear, Dee, how you got involved into all of this in the first place, where it kind of all started, some of your thoughts as to what these dogmen could be. After you fire away on that, if you could then give us a little bit of a rundown as to what occurred in that little promo video we cut for you, myself, and also the NADP, where it starts out with the dogs barking in the field, then it cuts into some super creepy eye shine, followed by something that looks like it belongs in a horror movie with some sort of canine-like creature just putting his ears up and down.
How I got into this, I've always been into paranormal. As I was younger, I didn't really like it too much, but after I had my kid, my son, and things, I kind of got back into it when he got older and got to do his own things. So I started doing paranormal, and everybody was telling me that I should try it on YouTube, show everybody what you're actually catching, because your stuff's phenomenal. Because no one would believe me, so I finally started doing that, and I would go to state parks. I didn't want to go to Waverly Hills, the state penitentiaries, or the things that have been done over a million times by everybody. So I wanted to do something different. So I started going to the state parks, and I was catching a lot of paranormal there. Um, And then one night I was walking and I turned this corner and it looked like, if anybody's been to a state park and you're close to a lake on a trail, they don't want you driving down it. So they'll put these reflectors, especially for nighttime, to keep you from driving there. That's what I thought that was like, do not drive, there's water here. But it stood up and then it kind of ducked down and ran off into the woods. And I can't believe what I just saw. So then the next morning I went and I caught, which it was a Bigfoot. I caught, I went on live stream and I caught tons of footprints at back there. I casted them and I've just been running at it ever since. Um, so that's how I kind of got into the cryptid thing. And just to the fact that I don't know, I was more drawn in, for me, which sounds crazy because it's like an impossibility for most. It was like I was in tune, like I don't know, I could find them in their structures and they'll start banging in the woods or making calls, or they'll make calls around me and just live life around me like I'm not even there, like I'm not a threat. So I just started, like I said, recording it and letting everybody see what I caught. And yeah, I mean, that's how I got into it. So the cornfield video that shows the dogs, I was invited to this farmhouse because they're adventures of mine. They watch the videos. And they saw another video that I did for somebody in their cornfield, and they were actually only like 10 miles apart, which was kind of crazy because I bet their woods are connected somehow. Um, but I had just got there. They had to run to go to soccer with their kids, so they just left me there with their dogs. So they're like, "Go ahead, go at it. We got to go." And I'm like, "All right." And then I got to talk to them afterwards, but I wasn't even ready to record yet. And these dogs just started barking at the cornfield, and I was just panning the camera wherever the dogs were barking. I didn't even know I caught that dog man standing there facing off with that dog. I had no idea. Um, it wasn't until editing. I mean, I had that video up for months before, and I was editing for a short and I saw it. I couldn't believe it. No one else caught it. But that dog kept barking at that field and you could hear the clicking in it, almost like a predator sound. That's the only way I can explain it, like the predator from the movies. Then you could hear yelling coming from the field. It was really crazy. A lot of paranormal there, a lot of shadow figures. Um, yeah, I didn't have any idea that that's what was there. So that was a crazy event. The dogs were warning me and I just didn't have a clue. I didn't know what they were going on about. Couldn't see it. Now, the one where I was on top of Howler's Hill is what I call it. I had ran into a smaller juvenile one, and it was cocking its head looking at me and talking. It was like I had a spirit box on, and it was, I know it sounds crazy, but it sounded like it was communicating with me through that ghost box. I turn around and then there's this bigger one, like 14-foot tall, big red eyes, like separated. Um, and the eyes got more glowier, like they brightened redder. So I was like, whoa, okay. I don't know what to do here, guys, because I'm on a live stream at the time. So like thousands of people are watching this. And then I went to back up and the woods behind me started boom, 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 crashing, trees falling down. So I just stood there, hands in the air, camera in the air. And I'm like, I don't know what to do here, guys. I'm doomed. I guess I was messing with the juvenile and it got mad. I'm not sure. And finally, it kind of stepped back and you could see its eyes get smaller, like it was stepping backwards. And I kind of went around it a way to get to the entrance because it was blocking my way. Yeah. And then for the one with the cloaking dog man, I was done. I had went to just do a video on this trail that I take a lot because there's a huge structure back there that's been weaved like a basket. None of the branches are cut. Some of these trees are whole trees that were driftwood at one point, and there was no way for them to get up there. And it was just the way it was made was incredible. So I like to show it a lot. Um, but I was coming back. I was going around my car because I noticed there was a man and his dogs around my vehicle, and I couldn't understand why. So I kind of stopped and was recording that part. So when he finally left, I walked up to my car and I was looking for scratch marks on my vehicle because the dogs were jumping all over it. So when I went to go around my vehicle, I was just about to put my stuff, turn the camera off and put my stuff away when I caught eye shine. So I flipped the camera, and lo and behold, there he is, just staring at me. And he's smiling. He's got his teeth showing. And I don't know what to do. So I'm like, hi. And you watch him cloak. As soon as I say hi, it was like a split second and he cloaks. And I'm sitting there watching him, watching him, watching him. And then eventually he takes like a dive, like he goes to go into the woods. So I go to get in my car. And that's when I ended the video. I didn't even know he was following me. I don't know. I didn't even know he was there. I didn't hear anything. Didn't see anything except for that eye shine, and I almost missed it. I wouldn't even known he was there if I hadn't caught that out of my peripheral with my light. So, yeah.
Definitely some super gnarly stuff. To the audience, you are going to get to see everything Dee is talking about. Please also do head on over to her thread as content creators. Hitting that like button, commenting, sharing around our stuff is legit so helpful. The algorithm can be a friend or a foe. Super important. She has amazing stuff. Her link's going to be up in the description of the good old video. Also, she's under the Midnight Society. So do keep track of all of this stuff that is occurring for sure. Dee, my friend, when it comes to your thoughts as to what these things could be and also missing people, do you think there is a correlation? Quick little stat for you. Every year in the 48 main states of the United States, not counting Alaska, that's a whole different ballgame, and Hawaii also we're not counting here. 1,100 to 2,400 people go missing every year. Only 5% are ever found. This does not mean they are found in ways such as you and I sitting down and hanging out and chatting. This could be shoelaces, backpacks, or way more nefarious stuff. Do you think there's a correlation here?
Honestly, my theory, I believe in creation. I'm religious, to an extent. But I think these things go along with Bigfoot and all these things that were recreated at that point. These things go into cave paintings, and they're everywhere. They've been everywhere. They've been spotted everywhere. I mean, especially around where I'm at, there's just been tons of history talking about them since settlers were here. I'm not saying that's a for sure thing. I'm still learning myself. I'm still a beginner at this, but I'm not a newbie, if that makes sense. I just know that dealing with both Bigfoot and Dogman, it's two different. They're totally two different mindseted things. One works. They both have somewhat kind of compassion, humanity to a point, but Bigfoot has more of a human look. Uh, like if you were to take the hair away, it would be just a giant human, with ginormous muscles. But Dogman, it's hard to see humanity in them unless they're nice to you and let you go, because their eyes are just jet black. They don't have pupils, white of eyes. They don't have slits. They don't have anything like that. From what I've seen, I'm not saying they're all like that. Just from what I've seen at night, they don't have eyes like that. And with the correlation with the missing people, that might have something to do with these things, but at the same time, if you look at the cave systems and put that map with the missing people map over top of each other, they correlate, which makes me think that if these things are out there, because I've never visited the West, I don't know. I have no idea what's out there. I'm just an Eastern kind of person. I haven't gotten South yet. So I'm just learning from my region. It's possible that they're out there living in the caves, but to be honest, that could be a number of different kind of things out there that I've witnessed. Yeah, that's a deep one, man. That's deep. That could be an all night kind of thing.
Did you see my cliff notes? You must have, because you made the great reference of the caves and the missing people. Well, if you put one more layer on top of that with the NADP sightings that people have reported of these strange canine like creatures, it makes a perfect sandwich almost. Everything lines up: the missing people, the strange sightings, and the cave systems. So, again, absolutely epic stuff right there. Yet, I do want to make this about you tonight, my friend. What is the scariest or your favorite case you've got a chance to work on so far?
Well, my scariest has been recently. I was doing a collab with another channel, and they were at this location with me, and we were kind of set one it was like a crooked four-way, and he was down the way recording and I'm down my way recording, so it wouldn't be all the same thing on top of each other. And he got it on his point of view and from my point of view. I was just sitting there, researching, calling, making calls, just all the crazy stuff that I'm out there doing with things, annoying everything, um, just to get a reaction. I got pulled all of a sudden. I'm going backwards. I swear it was like 15, 20 feet, maybe more. All I remember is being brought back, and I'm pretty sane at that point, but it's when I reached back, it had my hood and my hair, because I had my hair in a ponytail, and it had both of them. And when I went to reach back, I felt for like, if you could slow down like a millisecond. I mean, I don't know what a pig feels like, but what I felt, it was oily and leathery, and the hair was kind of like a sheepish sheep hair, the coarse, thick of it, and that's why I don't know what it was. Um, and that's when I kind of went out. And in the video, you can hear the guy yelling at me, like trying to get me to snap out of it. That was my most terrifying point. And I didn't think I could get back out there again. And I did sit out in my truck for a while and just sit around at the beginning of the trails. I wouldn't go back in. And I still have yet to go 5 miles in or 3 miles in. I'm too nervous to do that now, especially when I go out alone. The one that I wish I could relive again that I love doing, 'cause there's so many that I love. It's hard to pick one, but the one that I was talking about earlier where the juvenile was looking at me, I was freaking out because it's bigger than me, but it's small to the ground. So, I mean, if it stood up, I don't know how big it could have been, but from the eye shine and the size of the eyes, it was smaller than the one that I was about to encounter at that point. I just wish that I was more calm and I would have been able to spend more time actually, instead of seeing in the dark and just its eye shine and the outline of it. I wish I could have seen what color it was, what face it had, what was it thinking, kind of thing. Like, because with Bigfoot, you can actually look into their eyes and kind of tell what they're thinking because they have emotion. That was one of my favorite moments, but I have so many.
Yikes. That is, again, super gnarly stuff right there. And just because I'm a nerd, like Scooby would say, that's a lot of ruh-roh raggy, eh? You know, especially in some of the videos that I've personally seen of yours. It's just nightmare fuel for sure. When
Right.
you are interacting with these, you definitely have a very good basis as to what could be occurring in firsthand experiences. Personally, if you had to at this point in time make a statement about it, do you think you have been more in danger around the dogmen and such, or is it just maybe a feeling of uneasiness, but not that feeling of
I don't
total uh-oh?
I don't want to jinx it, but no, I don't feel danger. The only time when I see one, the only thing that's going through my mind is all the stories I've heard.
Hmm.
And I think the difference with the ones that I'm dealing with, because I was explaining this the other day, there's state park rules for these things because they're smaller. And depending on the size of the state park, the rules kind of change a little bit from what I've noticed. I've been to national parks and they are way more aggressive and territorial. They're not worried about consequences in the national parks. And in the wild, which I know they're all wild, but this is like people's property or the woods across the street that's, still state property, but it's not a park or anything. Those are more like rogue juveniles that have been kicked out of the clans and they group together and they're like a bunch of teenagers out there that are angry at their parents is the difference. So the ones that I mainly deal with are the state parks. When I went to the national parks, there's a whole different thing, but I only dealt with one. I went to LBL and dealt with the Dogman, and then I went to Salt Fork and dealt with two clans fighting over what they were going to do with me, pretty much. Um, ones were trying to lead me out, and others were chasing me down. It was so weird. I can't really say that they are, but I don't want to make people think that all these things are cuddly and sweet, that they're going to accept you and be nice to you. And it's just not how it works. I just think with state parks, they just have different rules to abide by, and foods in abundance, and there's tons of space outside the state parks that are people that live around it. So it's a whole different thing. They're more used to people. Now, the national parks, you got your campers and your annoying people that only come at certain times. And then the wild, you might be on this property for generations, and then all of a sudden these people come in and they're building a house, and all of a sudden they got a huge farm, and there's this whole different demeanor to each kind, if that makes any sense.
Of course, it makes sense. Epic answer right there from an epic researcher. Wouldn't expect anything less. Big kudos to you and what you're doing for sure. My final question for you before we do start to tie this up, because you have things to attend to tonight. When it comes to a researcher or somebody that was an influence for you, meaning growing up real quick when I was 11 teen, now he's one of my best buddies, Jody Cook. He was somebody I really looked up to. Rest in peace, Linda Godfrey. I would have loved to have been able to speak to her. I'm not as close with Doug Highcheck as I am with Jody Cook. Monster Quest, I used to love that as a kid too. So those were all big influences for me in regards of being like, whoa, what the heck's going on here? And then obviously being a nerd, I love Jane Goodell. Rest in
Right.
peace to her as well.
Well, I mean, I like the way they research, but I don't like the person they are, kind of thing. Growing up, it was kind of my thing was finding Bigfoot. That was the big thing. I was waiting for him to find one. And I just wanted to see, and this was before I got into this at all, the state parks, way before. I would have to say Bobo from that channel. I'm not a fan of a lot of people, so I don't really pay attention to names. But Bobo from Finding Bigfoot was in Cliff. They both were kind of an inspiration of how I would want to be if I did it. Carpenter was, I heard that name growing up, and that was a big thing for everybody that watches my channel. They also mention him a lot, and I have the ultimate respect, and I would love to be a tenth of what he accomplished. I know I'm accomplishing a lot, but you know, I don't have the nerve to do a lot that they did. I have the nerve to be out there at night for a few hours or overnight or a weekend, but you know what I mean? Like these people that set up for months and weeks on end, that would terrify me because of how they come to my home. And even though it's a big home, uh, it's still overwhelming. I have a lot. I don't even know where to start, and that's
Again, great answer, my friend. I love it. That's what's great about this is just how you touched base on people's different perspectives. I'm a huge individual on doing that with my team. We all want to figure out what's going on, but would you like to tell everybody your big plans that you have coming up for your adventures, your channel in general, and some of the big girl things everybody can be watching out for?
I had just recently purchased a bus, and I am turning it into a RV/research center kind of thing. I'm gonna try to I want to get it all decked out at some point. It's gonna take me a couple years. It's gonna take a lot, but I want to get cameras on the outside of it and set up stuff like that with it, and that's my plan. But I've actually here soon I'm still gonna use it and do little bits here and there. So I'm planning on going to a national park, which I haven't decided which one yet. So I'm gonna go there with it, but that's gonna be in like a month. I'm still working on it a little bit. Yeah, I've got a lot of adventures coming up. I've got a new state park that I'm thinking about going to, but it's always hard to go to a new one because it takes a while for them to trust you. You got to kind of be there every night, off and on, at least 20 times a month, um, for them to finally kind of watch you, and then eventually they'll mess with you or mess with the stuff that you leave them. I work a lot with cat balls, the glowy cat balls, and they love those things. Both Dogman and Bigfoot play with them. I've caught them on camera and on video. I've actually got a video where a ball is lifted into the air and I shine the light and it just drops. There's nothing holding it. There's nothing there. It was incredible. So, I've got a lot of plans. I'm trying to take it a little bit at a time. But yeah, I'm about to go in about a month. Yeah, about a month I'm about to start going out into the national parks again.
Listen to that legendary stuff to the audience. As previously mentioned earlier on in the episode, please do head on over to Dee's page, hit that like button, share it all around. The same goes to here. And I do know no one likes to watch ads, yet if you do enjoy your content creators, big or small, those are strategically placed there by us to help us grow in the good old algorithm. That is a really important aspect. And also, if you ever get bored, check out the merch store down below for myself and everybody else. That's a great way to help our channels grow and stay relevant. Well, we do need to let Dee get back to other things she needs to attend to. No worries, though. Some point in the future, we
I'll be
will be
back.
able to catch up with her again.
I'll be
Yet,
back.
luckily for me, I can talk to Dee whenever I'd like. So I will keep everybody updated. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, my friend.
No problem. I really appreciate you inviting me on, and you're really cool, and I appreciate the kindness, and I love being quizzed and questioned, so I thank you.
My legendary creatures of the night, I do adore every single one of you. And thank you for hanging out tonight. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the truth to the algorithm. And remember, there are monsters lurking in the darkness. Where did you find this very intriguing relic? There is so much quality information inside of the Midnight Society.